Welcome back to another episode of the 5 Minute Career Hack Podcast. And I'm so excited. I'm going to hop right into this one because I have none other than the illustrious, the incomparable Meredith Sisnett, who is a resume and career consultant, joining me today. Welcome, Meredith, to the 5 Minute Career Hack Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. I know we've been trying to do this for a long time. So, no better time than now to talk about something that is, I don't know if I want to say it's a hot topic, but something that definitely, maybe since 2020, folks have been embracing more.
Yes.
And that's pivots.
Yes.
I saw you close your eyes. What do you think when you hear
yes,
the word pivot?
Yes. I mean, when I think of pivot, I think of like a turn, a change, something new, something different, elevation.
Yes. And who doesn't want elevation? So I remember early in the 5 Minute Career Hack journey, one of the things that I had learned in my research is that the average career person has about 12 pivots in their career.
Oh, wow.
And I was even a little bit astonished. And at the time we were talking about how to get promoted, how to, negotiate your salary, and then how to start making a career shift. And getting there faster was embracing like that pivots are a part of it. Mm-hmm. But most times we're maybe afraid to pivot in our careers, or something keeps us in the same place. And I was sharing with you, when the first time that we were probably asked like what we want to be when we grow up, is like in kindergarten, right? And I remember saying that I wanted to be a manager of KB Toys. And so somehow I became a retail leader out of all of that. But sometimes we become married to what we originally committed to. And then that's the tape that's playing in our head about what we committed to and what we told the world, and it keeps us stuck in our current career. So for the person who's married to it, but afraid to make movement, maybe share a pivot that you've made in your career that was that life-changing moment, or just give them some advice on what they should consider when making a pivot.
Yes. Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of people having fear of making a pivot is that they're scared of failure. So no one wants to fail. Mm-hmm. When you're younger, you take more chances. Mm-hmm. You're not worried about what other people are thinking. You just move and flow in a way that like fills you and fuels you and makes you happy and gives you joy. Mm-hmm. It's when you get older that you start like needing acceptance and validation. You're scared to make mistakes, and then you end up keeping yourself marginalized in a certain position because you don't want people to think you're hopping around. As far as making a pivot in my career, like the first thing that comes to my mind is I was an administrative assistant, and I was working for an engineering firm, and the director said to me, "Meredith, I'm out of pistachios." I used to fill his refrigerator with his favorite sodas. I would go to Sam's and get his favorite nuts, which were pistachios. Yeah. Everyone else in the organization, had free-flowing sodas and snacks in the shared space. Yeah. And he was very privileged and very adamant about making sure that I kept his personal space stocked. Yeah. And I just had a moment of clarity, and I said, I can do more than this. I can be more than this.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that moment of clarity for you was something as simple as somebody telling you to fill up a pistachio bowl. And I think a lot of us have. Isn't that funny? It's like funny to even say like, yes, but that's the moment. And so just imagine you had that moment where you felt it, but then you kept going home. Yes. And tossing and turning about this thing, but still staying in the same position in the same career. Yes. And I think there's consequences to that. Consequences to the constant reflection about, I want to change careers, I'm not fulfilled. But then there's this thing that comes where it's like, well, then you start questioning yourself when you don't make movement. Yes. The longer you stay in the same place, then that's when the fear of failure comes in, and you start questioning your abilities, and you don't make the movement. How does somebody overcome that? Because we got to move from reflection to actually moving. Yes. And that's where I see, and maybe you see with your clients, where people get stuck, where they come in, it's like me going to my therapist saying, I need to do this, this is how I feel, but I'm not doing anything because I'm not using my tools. How do you help people with that?
Well, yes. I mean, one thing that sticks out in my mind when you say stuck, like a lot of people feel stuck at different times.
Yeah.
And you're just stuck in the same place. You're stagnant. You feel frustrated. You feel overwhelmed. And you just don't know what to do. You feel like you're drowning.
Yeah.
And so when people get into that position, I ask them to look inward and figure out and like let's make a plan on where you want to go.
Yeah.
When you're stuck, it's because you're elevating, but you usually think like when you're stuck, it's because you're in a bad place. When you're stuck, it means you've outgrown a space and it's time for you to pivot. It's time for you to elevate. It's time for you to do something that's in the unknown so that you can grow and you can get closer to the person that you are truly meant to be.
Right. Yeah, one of my co-founders says often that stuck is an emotion.
Yes.
So when you feel stuck, it's something that's going on in your mind, in your
Yes.
body. You're having some type of reaction
Yes.
that's making you, it's like fight, flight, or freeze, right?
Yes.
And it's making you freeze. And so, of course, I like to be in tune with what I'm feeling. I think
Yes.
there's a process of telling yourself the truth about how you're feeling, and the quicker you get filtered through all that stuff, then you're ready to make the move. So for somebody who's stuck in the emotions, practically, how do they come, like how would you guide me to come out of that emotional stuckness, so to speak, so that I can start believing that I'm ready for this next assignment?
Well, yeah. So if I was meeting with you, I would talk to you and say, okay, so you're feeling stuck. You say that you're feeling stuck, but I don't think that that's the case. And I am here to help you get to that next level, right? And then I also let people know that they're not alone. Because when you feel stuck, you feel guilty. You feel like you're failing. But you don't realize that everyone feels stuck at a certain time.
Yeah,
so just hearing that from someone that you feel has everything together kind of gives you a sense of ease and comfort. And so then I talk to you and I ask you, like, what do you enjoy doing? What do you like? What gives you joy? What makes you feel successful? And then once you share those things, then we can talk about how you can get there. Like, have there been things that you've done specifically, right? Or are there things that you envision for yourself? And then I help you map that out and so that you can take the steps to get there.
Yeah, no, you reminded me, and I'm going to pull it up because we just having conversation on this, because I think this is one thing that we don't do, because we'll stay in constant doubt.
Yes.
But we won't go back and gather what I think you just described as receipts.
Yes.
So the fear of failure, the fear of what I might not be able to do.
Yes.
And most times the evidence of what we can do in that next role or what can help propel us to that pivot, it already exists. We just don't take the time to actually reflect on what that is and get it down on paper. And so I definitely agree with the, just go and say, what skills do I have that's going to help me be successful in that role? But the question that that I often hear people struggle with is like, am I ready? So you get the receipts.
Yes.
You're over the emotional block. What else do they need to be thinking about to say, okay, I'm ready for this pivot?
Yes.
Or do they even need to be ready, Meredith? Like,
well, there's a saying is like you gotta stay ready instead of get ready, or something like so there's a saying that's like that. Honestly, you have to make space for yourself. You got to make space for yourself so that you can identify where you want to go sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you make space for everyone else. You figure it out for everyone else. But when it comes to you, like what are you doing so that you can get there and get to the next phase, right? Yeah. And so that you're ready for a pivot because you can feel it in your body. You could be getting headaches. You could be getting migraines. You could be feeling depressed. You feel disappointed because you're not being your best self. And so it's just, all that means is it's time for you to grow. It's time for you to move. It's time for you to leave that environment and go to a place that fits you where you are in that time.
Absolutely. I remember, I think it was my cousin when I was younger, said to me, like, when you start to feel those butterflies in your stomach, or when you feel that when you're having that physiological reaction, like that's your signal to move.
Yes.
But oftentimes, we just stay because we are married to comfort.
Yes.
But we have to get uncomfortable to grow, is what I hear you saying.
Well, I mean, actually, it's not comfortable. If you think about it.
That's such a bar, right?
Yeah, it's a bar.
It's
But comfortable is, when being comfortable is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're not comfortable. You're in something that's familiar.
Yeah.
When something is familiar, your mind can tell you that that's good.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I mean? So if you're in something, if you're familiar with being in a toxic space, if something toxic comes to you, whether it's your work environment or in a relationship or with a friendship, you can find yourself staying there. And so you have to like break out of that and pay attention to like where you are and ask yourself, okay, am I comfortable? Or am I just like repeating the things that like people say, right? And then so you have to ask yourself, is it worse to pivot or have regret that you didn't move? You know?
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. You seem like you wanted to keep going though, like.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, like it's like at the end of the day, like, do you have regret? Like, let's say you go to a funeral service, right? And you hear about a person's life. And when you are in that environment, it makes you think and reflect on your own life. And then you start to think about, like, what do I want to do? What makes me happy? What's important to me? You know? And you have a different perspective.
Yeah.
And so if it's like, oh, I want to travel, or I want to spend more time with my family, I want to make more money, I want to elevate in my career, I want to educate myself, you know, you begin to reflect on yourself. And then if you don't like try and make some mistakes, then like that's a terrible feeling.
Yeah. You know, regret is not a good feeling. And I love the exercise that you just highlighted for us.
Yeah.
When somebody is in that moment of reflection and trying to figure out, do I want to make the move, is sit down and write your own obituary.
Yes.
They're not going to be quoting and reciting your resume and the pistachio bowl on your on your obituary. That's not what they're going to be talking about. So what do you want to be known for?
Yeah, I mean, I want a celebration of life.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so, I mean, I don't want to tie in like making a pivot to your death. But like when you do go to a service, which I did go to recently, they talk about the dash. So the dash of when you were born and the dash of when you pass.
Right.
And as time goes on, you don't want to have a bunch of regret that you didn't try things, that you didn't step outside of your comfort zone, and that you didn't like do things that like really speak to your soul because you were afraid of failure or someone was going to laugh at you based on like something that has to do anything other than yourself.
Yeah. No, I love that. And you also talked about earlier, like, I want to go back to it because it just popped up in my head. Thinking about things that you love to do.
Yes.
And so one of the things that pops up in my mind as well, because there's a lot of stuff I love to do.
Yes.
But also a part of making a pivot before you go running, getting all those certifications and doing all those things.
Yes.
Is, do you love to do it? And then are you good at it?
Right.
And then how do you prepare for being good at that thing that you love to do? Because I've made some pivots to some stuff that it wasn't even my call, and it was just something that I thought was fun and cute at the time.
Yes.
But there was a maturation process of me getting good at that thing so that I could, when I get to writing, okay, this is what I want to celebrate. I'm celebrating that I was successful, not that I did what I saw other people doing or just something that gave me butterflies one time.
Right.
What does that look like? You know, maybe you have a relatable story of when you were like, all right, I'm good at this thing, but now I want to make sure that I love to do this thing, but I want to make sure that I'm good at it and that I'm successful at it, so I can actually celebrate. Because sometimes pivots can fail if you don't explore that process. Yeah,
and I'm really glad that you said that because failure is okay.
Yes, it is.
And so somewhere we learn that failure is like this terrible thing, but failure means you tried.
Yes.
and then you learn.
Yes.
And then you grow.
Perspective.
And
yeah.
it gives you perspective. It gives
Yes.
you knowledge. It gives you
Yes.
insight. It gives you expertise. And you know what not to do again.
Absolutely.
Like what? I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Failure is great at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, I have definitely pivoted. I was in organizational training and development. I did new hire orientations. I love gathering people together and creating a space by bringing in everyone's ideas and identifying their expertise. So if it's an event, you're good at the decor, you handle the decor. I can easily see like people's strengths, and I'm like, you want to do that?
Yeah.
You have at it.
That's leadership.
You know 100%. If you need anything from me, let me know.
Yeah.
But like that's your baby.
Yeah.
You know, and I give them an opportunity to lead. So I'm like, we're all leaders in our own right. I'm just managing the collective.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so I love that. But now I'm in a role with contract management, and that is more paper focused. I do communicate with organizations, but I'm more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely a pivot. And so it makes me well-rounded. I'd rather be with people than be with paper, but having both of those things is going to take me to my next step.
Yes.
And that's the other thing is like for you to
that.
keep into perspective, when you really think about where you are in your life, everything that you've done all ends up tying together and brings you where you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So none of it's a waste.
Yeah, yeah. And I think even too, like listening to you talk about that, I think that's a beautiful story of you set with yourself long enough to say, I know I need this to get to that. So you still got the end game in mind, the long term in mind.
Yes.
But now you're giving yourself a new experience that's going to help you be even better at your next pivot. So I think it's a beautiful illustration of
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Yes, you know. I think it's amazing because I mean, I lost my thoughts, so that part will get cut out because I forgot what I was about to say. But
that's okay. We just gonna keep it.
No, I love that you brought that up of like, hey, sometimes it's not exactly what I'm used to doing.
Yes.
But I recognize that this is going to help me get from point B to point C.
There's still a value.
Yes.
Right? And also you can do things temporary. Like you don't have to do that for the rest of your life.
Who says we're guaranteed this whole lifetime anyway?
Exactly.
Be in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like it's okay, you do it, and there's some things that you like about it, and when you're in that environment, you're exposed to different people and different things, and then, you know, it takes you to your next, you know, venture.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just say, and I'm just, you know, throwing kind of a hypothetical out there because there's people, and I've experienced this, I'm sure you have, so we're relating to everybody today, right?
Yes.
Went to that next thing, right?
Yes.
And then they were like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. It's not for me. I don't like this.
Yes.
And I no longer even see, like, I don't see how this is helping me get from point B to point C.
Yes.
What would you have me consider as I'm thinking about making maybe now the 11th pivot of my career after I tried something? Like, how would I think about that?
Well, that's a really good question. The first thing that comes to my mind is as time goes on, you know yourself and you know when something doesn't work for you. And so trust your intuition. So if you're in an environment and the management style, like you have a micromanager, it doesn't have flexibility, you don't enjoy what you're doing, you don't feel like their values align with your values, you know, whatever the case may be that's important to you at that juncture in your life, if that doesn't fit for you, then it's okay to say this doesn't work for me, and then don't quit. Keep that job. And then, you know.
Don't quit, okay?
Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? So.
Be strategic.
Yes, be very strategic about what you're doing, and then just start applying for other things. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you start worrying about, people are going to say I'm job hopping, people are going to, think something negative about me. Like, at the end of the day, you're paying your bills. You know, you're the one spending time on that job. You're the one getting that paycheck. You're the one doing that work. It really doesn't have to do with anything outside of you. That's just like noise. That's just like white noise.
Absolutely. I think the theme that I'm gathering as I'm even learning as you talk, because I'm learning a lot about me and just even your coaching style as you talk. You have said several times about being in tune with what's happening internally.
Yes.
Listening to your body, listening to your thoughts. And I have concluded, since in the last few minutes, that the biggest challenge that we probably have with these pivots
Yes.
is this external comparison, external attachment
Yes.
to what other people think. Like
Yes.
that's it, like I was. It literally just hit me while you were talking. That's the answer to this.
Yes.
Because you could, to your point, you could make the wrong pivot. But a lot of times, the reason why we don't move is because we're thinking about what others think about what we're thinking or what we're doing. It came to me when you mentioned job hopping.
Yes.
Because there's a cost to that. There's a cost to your peace when you stay loyal to something externally and you don't become loyal to yourself and what you desire in your career.
True.
What's your thoughts on that? Because like that external comparison and being attached to what other people think, I think you just helped me solve. I think this is kind of a world peace solution right now in pivoting. But what's your thoughts on how do you detach from what other people think? Like what's maybe the process that somebody should go through of detaching?
Yes.
I have some thoughts on it, but I'm curious on what you think.
Yes. So yes, what comes to mind to me, the first thing that comes to my mind is basically it's validation. And so validation, it comes from your youth, it comes from your childhood, it comes from your wantings and your needs. And then as you become an adult, those things are kind of sewn into your life choices as an adult. And so, I mean, it may sound goofy, but it's just like loving yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Whitney Houston, when you were talking, I was thinking of the song, Learning to Love Yourself.
That's my girl
It is the
right there.
greatest love of all.
You might
And
be the
it's
first
true.
guest that sang. I love it. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you just love yourself through the mistakes. And just remember that you validate you. It's when you are looking for those external validations from people that you're doing enough and that you're doing a good job and that you are great. Then you're not being really true to yourself. And for me, like it doesn't always feel like that. I have to remind myself, you know, of that from time to
It's
time.
a forever journey.
Yes. You know, it's like a drug or something like that, you know, where you're looking for someone's validation.
Yeah.
And as women, you know, you really have to hold true to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think every time as I reflected, as you were talking, every time that I've made a move that did not fulfill me, it was because I was thinking about either my parents or what somebody externally was going to think about the move.
Yes.
So and it like literally every time it's always attached, and it doesn't help now with social media and as much as I love LinkedIn, sometimes LinkedIn can get you down those holes where you're comparing yourself to others.
Yes.
And it made me think of a distant mentor of mine. I talk a lot about Brendan Burchard.
Okay.
And one of the things that he challenged in one of his mastermind groups once was, when you think about that next move that you're about to make or that crazy thing that you're about to do, are you willing to have the world think that you're crazy if you do it? And if you can say that, I don't care if somebody thinks that I'm crazy because I'm about to do this, that's like your sign that you should do it.
Definitely.
Like, not worrying about like you can't. Do you think I'm crazy? Okay, mama think I'm crazy. Okay, cool. Let me go do this.
That's the validation piece.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that makes me think. Also, with work, you're not gonna your whole cup is not going to be filled at work. Like for most people, some people, if you are doing something that's in alignment with your spirit, right? When they say when you do something that you love, you're not working, you know, you feel like you're not working. But for most of us, like your job is only a piece of the puzzle. You have other things and other interests that your job might not fill. So it's critical for you to find joy and projects that are outside of that.
Yeah.
Right. So like I've had fan drives before. I saw a ad for elder care where seniors were in 100-degree heat, and like that broke my heart. They had no air conditioning. They were sitting in a house with 100-degree heat. And immediately I said, I have to do something. I went to work. I couldn't work. I was just sitting there. I was like, I have to do something. I have to do something. I cannot move until I figure out a solution. It was just in my spirit.
Yeah.
So I told my coworker, I have to do something. I think I'm going to start a fan drive. And she's like, really? I said, yes. She said, I'll buy a fan.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Oh my God.
And then from there, I just started reaching out to people, and they're like, I'll buy a fan and I'll talk to my coworkers and I'll do this. And then next thing you know, I had like 150 fans.
Wow.
The next year I got like $5,000 in cash, you know?
Wow.
And so it's, if you listen to your spirit and you move from intention and you don't move from like, is anybody going to approve my thoughts and the ideas that come in my head, you'll be more successful.
Oh my goodness.
And happy.
Yes, yes. And I love, even though we spend a good bit of our time in our careers, that's just a piece of the puzzle.
It's a sliver.
It
pays our bills. It's important. You know,
She's like,
keep
no.
your job. Keep that job. You know, but you know, until you can work for yourself. But
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
if that's
But I
your
think finding that thing outside of work,
yes,
that even sometimes helps you come to work and enjoy work a little more.
it does.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's a mosaic.
Yes.
Of the makeup of, you know, your full life, because work is not your full life. But again, because we spend so much time there,
Yes.
we got to be doing something that keeps us in thrive mode.
That's how you become a Renaissance woman, like you and I, honey.
Yes,
yes.
come on, Renaissance woman.
Yes.
So to the man or woman who's watching
Yes.
this, as we wrap up, before I ask, I'm going to ask you for your final 5 words, just so you know.
Okay.
But for the man or woman who's watching this, who is on the cusp of maybe burnout or on the cusp of that pivot, but they don't know exactly what it takes to become that Renaissance woman or Renaissance man like
Yes.
you and I, what's the one thing that they need to do? I know we've talked about a lot, but if you could give a one thing that is the power move, what would you say that is?
Let me see how many words it is. Always be true to yourself.
Come on, always be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Do that and take that internal inventory.
Yes.
Now, what people think and how people perceive you, we care. It
Yes.
matters, but we can't be attached to it. And it can't keep us from being true to ourselves. I love
Yes.
that, Meredith.
Yes.
Any final words? And tell us how we find you. How do we get your consulting services? This has been an amazing episode, by the way. Like,
Thank you.
I learned so much. I know we talked about a lot of different things, but I think that's how the human brain works anyway. And we're always like, all right, what about this? What about this?
Yes.
Right? And I think that we embodied that in this episode. So thank you for
Yes.
being here.
Yes.
Final words, and how do we get in touch with you to get your career consulting services?
Yes, don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's what comes to my mind. Move through intention when you're making a decision. Like, ask yourself, what do I want to gain from this? What do I want to feel from this? What do I want to experience? What do I want to learn?
Yeah.
You know, and I think when you do that, when you are interacting with other people in a gamut or a plethora of different situations, it will give you joy and fulfillment, because you're doing things because you truly want to do them, not because of other people's expectations, not because of what people want you to do, but because you want to do it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And if somebody's having that, what stuck with me too is having that pistachio bowl moment.
Don't talk to me about any pistachios.
For me, it's the 5 a.m. conference calls.
Okay.
So when I was in retail It was the punitive 5 a.m. conference calls.
Oh,
That was
no.
actually the moment where I wrote a resignation letter
Yes.
to a place of employment because I got an invite that if I didn't do this, I was going to have to be on this 5 a.m. call. And then if it didn't work, then I was going to have to travel to corporate to be a part of a punitive meeting.
Oh, no.
And I was like, that was my pistachio bowl moment.
Yes.
I'm about to do something different. And let me go ahead and start preparing for it right now. And movement came quickly after that. So I think I love that you shared
Good
that.
for you.
That what's your pistachio bowl moment? What's your 5 a.m. conference call
Yes.
moment? And don't ignore the feeling that you have in your body and what you're thinking about when you identify that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
You're
joining us.
welcome. Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
Can't wait to have you back on the podcast.
Love you big.
Yes. Oh, look at us. Come on.